Hello, welcome to this Yin and Breathwork class. This will be half an hour, 40 minutes of a Yin sort of energy cleanse with breathwork. So we're going to go through just briefly 3 types of breath individually and then combine them. And then we'll go into some Yin poses, maybe not hold them as long. So this class is designed if you need to fit it into your lunch hour or in the morning before you start work, and maybe at the end of a busy day. With Yin, you don't always need anything in terms of props, but if you've got blocks or 2 sturdy books that are the same height, you could have those handy for this class. And we're going to be sort of getting into the hips and to the back as well. So come to sit into a comfortable position. So you could roll up the mat, you could come to sit on a block, and you come to sit towards the front edge of the block, so the knees are down towards the ground with a nice straight spine. Resting the hands somewhere feels comfortable, maybe onto the legs, into the lap with the right hand, into the left hand, and then just closing down the eyes. You can obviously also put incense on and any music if you want to into your space as well to complement the class. Some frequencies or some sort of nice gentle piano or something always goes well with the Yin. So then with a nice straight spine and closing down the eyes, just start to focus on the breath. You might notice at first that your senses, your attention is very much focused on the outside world when you first close the eyes. And then just start to notice the breath, come into the breath. Just observing the inhale and exhale. I've themed this class around letting go, and we hear this quite often in yoga, but maybe we don't always understand what does it mean when we let go. And we can have several ideas of letting go, because something might be different for the different people that will be watching this class. So letting go might be letting go of negative emotions, letting go of a difficult day. It might be the letting go of the need to control everything. It might be letting go of body aches and pains. It might be letting go of stress. So perhaps we can make an intention that we're going to let go of anything and everything for this session that's outside of this class, which means that just right now we're here with the physical body, with the breath, with spirit, and everything else we just learn to let go of. Maybe we need to let go of some tension in the body, some frustration towards someone. Good. Just switch, if you've got the legs crossed, just switch them so you're across the other way. So let's go into the first breath. So we'll do these in separate stages. Just take the right hand, let the left hand relax, the right hand up towards your face. And with the inhale, it's going to be through the nose. And with the exhale, you're going to imagine that you're fogging a mirror. So you really slow the breath down and constrict the throat slightly. And you breathe into your hand as though it's like you're fogging a mirror to make it a bit cloudy. So as an example, and then it's audibly. Okay, and then we're going to keep that going, and then we'll do a different breath. So take an inhale and exhale through the nose. Have the right hand up towards your face. Relax the shoulder on both arms. Left shoulder relaxed, right shoulder relaxed. Inhale nice and slowly but deeply through the nose. And then go ahead and exhale slowly, restricting the throat like you're fogging a mirror through the mouth to the hand. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Good. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Imagine that you're fogging that mirror to leave a message for someone. Exhale, mouth. Good. Drop the hand back down to the leg. This time we're going to have the eyes open. The eyes are nice and wide, looking up towards the sky for lion's breath. So what we do for this one is we inhale through the nose deeply. Really open the eyes nice and wide. We stick out the tongue, and then we go. So we kind of make this lion noise and really just let the breath go. It doesn't matter what you look like because no one else can see, so that's awesome. So looking up towards the sky, take a nice big inhale, open the eyes wide through the nose, stick the tongue out, exhale through the mouth. Good. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, stick the tongue out, mouth. And then one more time, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth, tongue out. Good. Turn the head down. You don't need to look up too much. It's just looking up a bit more towards the sky, but then bringing the head back to level. Using the right hand, the right thumb is going to be under the nostril. When we come to close, the right nostril that is, when we come to close the left nostril, we use the fourth finger, the ring finger. We're going to take 3 inhales and exhales through the left nostril only, and then we'll close the left nostril and we'll do 3 inhales and exhales through the right nose only. So take an inhale and exhale through both nostrils. Good. And then place the thumb onto the right nostril and inhale slowly and deeply through the left nostril. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale left. Close the left nostril and inhale through the right. If you can't do this because you've got a blocked nose, then just use your imagination. Exhale right. So you could leave the hands down and imagine that you're doing this breath. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the right. Close the eyes if they're not already. Rest the hand back down. Inhale and exhale through the nose. So these breaths are really cleansing. They're helping us to let go. They're good for anxiety and panic attack because they calm the nervous system. They're flushing out toxins from the body, calming the mind as we concentrate. Sometimes when we do these a bit more dynamically, not so much today, it can be quite common to feel a little bit dizzy sometimes, and that's normal. You should never be really dizzy, but a little bit can be okay. But if you need to back off from any instructions that teacher gives you, then listen to your own body and make that decision. So let's put all 3 together now. So we're going to go from the first breath to the Ujjayi breath, the breathing into the hand, into the lion's breath with the tongues open, into the alternate nostril breathing variation that we were doing. Good. So the right hand comes in front of the face. We'll just do 3 rounds of each. Good. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth as you're fogging a mirror. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Should be nice and loud. Inhale through the nose. Slowly exhale mouth. Rest the right hand down, open the eyes, look a little bit up towards the sky. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. And you're going to stick the tongue out and be like a lion and let the breath go out the mouth. Make some noise, wake the neighbours up. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And then one more time, inhaling through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Good. Bring the head back to center. And then take the right hand in front of the face again, the right nostril, the right thumb to the right nostril, inhaling through the left, unless you're just using imagination. Exhaling through the left. Inhaling through the left. Exhaling through the left. One more time, inhaling through the left. exhaling through the left. Closing the left nostril with the forefinger, inhale right. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the right. One more time, inhaling through the right. Exhaling right nostril. Keeping the eyes closed, retain the hand back to the leg. Inhale, exhale through the right nose. Inhale and exhale through the nostrils. Both nostrils. Through the nose. Just observe how you're feeling now, where the mind may be now compared to the very beginning. As you open your eyes, if the legs are crossed, then recross them again the other way. And we won't stay here for too long, but just a little bit of tapping for energy release. But first, just bob around a little bit. So like shake the shoulders, just bob around in the seat, look from side to side, let the arms go really relaxed. So just sort of shaking out the body, shake out the wrist, shake out the hands, maybe move the head a little bit. Just really try to let go again, this theme of letting go. So even this letting go is not robotic, but it's just let the body be moving intuitively. Good, and find some stillness, and then you're going to make these claws with the index finger, the middle finger, and the thumb, and the fourth finger actually. So it's just the little finger that's tucked in. Good, and then we're just going to use these to tap on this space that you've got the collarbone, the actual bone here, and the beginning of the shoulder, but just at the joining point underneath. There's a meridian line here, so it's the tissue, it's the soft area. So you're not tapping the bone, but underneath the bone, right up into the corner. It can be tender for some people. So you're going to use the right hand for this, so the left hand can relax and just gently tap into that space. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling mouth. And make that claw with the left hand and go to the right shoulder. Do the same. So again, you're not actually touching the shoulder or the collarbone, but just into that space underneath the collarbone. Can be a little bit tender for people. So take it nice and gentle, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Tap, tap, tap. Inhaling nose. Exhaling mouth. Good. And then using all of the fingers and the thumbs this time, come to the ribs. You can feel the rib cage, and then just gently tap onto the rib cage. Good. Let the shoulders be relaxed. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling mouth. Good. And then make the claws again on both hands this time. Then the thymus gland, so just below the collarbone here, down into the chest, above the heart space, and then just tap here. So this kind of makes your voice go when you tap it, because why not? Why not? Why not? Tap, 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 tap. Good, and then very gently with the same claws, just the cheekbones underneath the eyes. Tap, 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 tap. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Maybe even closing the eyes for a second. Maybe just moving the fingers around the eyes, the cheekbone. Good. And then just rub the hands through your hair. Good. Make a gentle fist with the right hand, extend the left arm out to the side, and then with the palm facing up, tap from the shoulder, or knock from the shoulder all the way down the inside of the arm until you knock onto the hand. Flip the arms, the palm facing down, and then come up the yang side until you get to the shoulder, and then flip the palm back up. When you come down the inside, this is the yin side, the feminine side, and then when you tap on the outside, this is the yang side, the masculine side, up to the shoulder. Extend the right arm and do the same. So the palm's facing up at first. And you're going to Tap down with the fist down the inside of the arm, and then up the outside, and then down the inside. Good. And then up the outside. Awesome. Good. Roll the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Just draw the shoulders up towards the ears. Notice how the body's feeling now, having done breath work, having done some tapping. And then let's get into our first yin pose. If you're sitting on something, let's just release that. Extend the legs out a little bit and shake them off. And then we're going to take diamond pose. So for bound angle, we take the feet in towards the body. For diamond pose, we take the soles of the feet together and extend the feet further away from the body. So you create this diamond shape in between your legs. Now, for some people, you're going to be up nice and straight because that's already going to be quite tight through the hips. It might even mean if you've got two blocks, you can place them underneath the thighs. And then in time, you're going to slowly start to walk forward. If you've got the space with the feet extended away from you again, maybe I'm going to wiggle my sitting bones back a little bit. I'm going to start to come into a fold, bringing the chin down towards the chest. I'm going to take my elbows out wide of the legs and bring my head down to rest. Some of you may be able to use the block and come to rest the head onto the block. Maybe the block goes onto the feet. You can bring the head down here. Palms can be facing down or up. Wherever feels comfortable. Everything I give you is a suggestion, but you can use the props in a way that feels best for you. And also, it's really important to not go to the full length of the pose, but maybe just go towards about 70%. So you're just holding a little bit back, because then you're going to gradually work of letting go into the pose, but working with the breath. So maybe just closing down the eyes. And then just working with the breath to sink into the poses. We're not going to stay as long into the poses today as a traditional yin class, so we can get through a few more poses before the end of today's session. But by all means, you can pause this and you can stay a bit longer. Look out for some longer videos to come. So you might have the blocks underneath the thighs, particularly if you're tight into your hips, and you might be sitting up quite straight. You might not use any blocks, and then maybe just have your hands around your feet. Let the chin drop towards the chest so you can relax the back of the neck. And just taking a couple more breaths. Maybe you're just observing the breath, maybe you're observing the music, if you have some on, smell of incense, maybe it's some noises, some birdies singing. Yin can often be quite difficult or a challenge for people because we're so wired to be moving and doing all of the time that in Yin we have to learn to stay still. Sometimes we're confronted with the mind. We're confronted with getting to know ourselves on a deeper level. Good. So from here, slowly start to bring yourself back up to a straight spine if you came forward, and then remove any blocks if you use them. Use the hands to help bring the knees back up, and then just extend the legs out and shake the legs off again. Let's see if I can remember this variation. So we're going to come and sit in cow face. So I'll show you the full pose first, and then the layers to get there if you can't quite get there. So we're going to take the right knee in front of us first, and then stack the left knee on top. My knees are feeling fussy today. The left knee goes on top of the right knee, and both sitting bones are onto the floor, and that should feel comfortable enough. If you can't quite get into this pose, another variation I discovered recently, is the left ankle goes above the right knee. It doesn't matter that this is high, that's part of our anatomy, that's fine. but then you're not then struggling to try and get this leg all the way around. And it's actually, for the pose, the variation that we're going to do today, it's fine to have the left ankle above the right knee. So if you've got really tight hips, this might be an option for you. The other option is that you keep the right leg extended. Bear in mind that gets into the hamstrings more probably for most people than it does the hips, but that is an option where you stack the knees, but the right leg is extended. So I'm going to take this version. And then we're going to take a side stretch from here. If you don't want to take the side stretch, your option number one is to come into a fold, stay up straight, or come into a fold over the legs. But just taking a variation this time to add a bit more into this, the right hip and the glute and the side body, is take the left hand and then take it out to the left hand side. You might want to walk away as far as it feels comfortable for you. But the glutes, both sitting bones, stay grounded. If you've got a block, you could, the two options with this right hand, so the left hand is extended out towards the left hand side, the right hand could sweep around the back and then hold the left hip, or you could take the block of the brick, place that down on the floor behind the left hip, I'm just trying to show you here, and then my hand's going to rest onto it. So basically this right hand is wrapped around the back. You might even be able to only get to the lower back, that's fine, stay there. If you can get over to the left hip, great. And then with this left hand, I'm going to keep walking along, and then I'm going to bring the left ear down towards the left shoulder. I'm going to relax the left shoulder. So I'm getting a stretch through this right hand side and into this right hip. Good. Trying to keep the ear and the shoulder away from each other. Remember that you could take the traditional pose and come into that forward fold. And then maybe you close down the eyes, you feel the pose. You won't stay here for too long. Try to enjoy the pose. So good. Open up the connective tissues, really sort of getting into the hips, releasing some emotions, letting go of some emotions that's maybe stored in the hip area, or blocking meridian pathways. Slowly making my way back up with the head and the hand to come back up so that the spine is straight. And then to come out of this pose, flex the feet, so point the toes back in towards the legs. You create an arch in the feet to protect the knees. You could then just lean back and unravel the legs, and then just shake out the legs. And then as you bring the left foot in towards the right glute, so the left knee is on the bottom, you could extend that bottom leg, remember. You could bring the right ankle above the left knee, which is a preference I like, or you could, this is shoelace pose in yin, get the right knee on top of the left knee. The block, if you used one, is going to go around behind the right hip, right hand to the side, and then you're going to walk right hand over as far as you can onto the fingertips or onto the palm. This left hand is going to wrap around the back. It's going to hold the right hip, the lower back, or maybe the hand is going to rest onto a block or to a book, which mine is. And then you could even look up towards the sky. You could relax the chin down towards the floor, trying to relax that right shoulder as well as the left shoulder. I really feel this in the IT band on my left leg on this side and the outside of the left hip. Woo! Hello. That's really woken me up. Closing down the eyes, observe the breath. The breath is what's going to open up these poses. If we're breathing like rapidly and too shallow, then we're not going to get the expansion into the body parts that we need to, that the breath can help us with. And also to settle the mind. It's really important to stay focused on the breath, to really notice the breath. Good, keep the shoulders relaxed. Just another couple of breaths. And then we're slowly going to make our way back up, bringing the head back up, bringing the hand back in. Flex the feet, lean back, make some noises as you unravel the legs. I really felt it on that side. Shake, 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 shake the legs, good. You could have a book or a block towards the top of the mat for this next pose, potentially, but not essential. Coming into the hands and the knees, starting in tabletop spread, the fingers, the shoulders are stacked over the wrist, the hips are stacked over the knees. And then we're going to come into puppy pose, where we're just going to walk the hands towards the top of the mat, keeping the tailbone lifted, and then we're going to bring the forehead or the chin down to the floor or to a block or a book, opening up through the heart space, through the upper back. And spreading the fingers, if you're particularly tight through the shoulders, and then take the hands slightly wider. Again, just focusing, concentrating on the breath. Letting go of the need to move, letting go of the need to control, letting go of the need to do. Just being here. Notice how beautiful it is to be able to be aware of the breath. To notice the breath and take time to connect with our body in what is often a busy life for us. We can nurture and care for the body as we take ourselves back into child's pose. So, taking the knees wide, the big toes come together, the sitting bones come down towards the heels, keep the arms extended, forehead comes to rest onto the mat. Slowly make your way back up into your hands and to your knees. Again, you could have, if you've got two blocks, you could use these for this next pose, like so, and the hands underneath the shoulders. But it's not essential if you don't have blocks or books. Keep the hands down, no problem at all. Take the right foot and just help it up so it goes to the outside of the right hand. So the hands are still on the inside. So my right foot is to the outside next to my right hand, but it's off the mat. I'm going to walk this left knee back a little bit. And we're just going to start into this pose. Stay nice and upright because we're going to take a variation. I'm facing the wrong way on the camera, naturally. This left hand we're going to take out slightly wider and then just roll to the inside, to the outside, sorry, of the right foot. So you can see the sole of the foot on this right hand side. Left hand is slightly wider, right hand can come to the inside of the knee, and then just look up towards the right hand side, up towards the sky. Try to drop this left hip down towards the floor a little bit. Slowly then place the hands back down onto the mat. Bring the sole of the right foot back onto the mat. And then bring the right foot in, take the right hand to the outside of the right foot. So you're just coming into a lunge position. Come up onto the fingertips, draw the shoulder blades together. And then with your next exhale, rock back onto the right heel. Walk the hands back a little bit. So you're coming into half splits. And then from here, take the right hand to the right foot, and then just see if you can encourage the right foot down. And then you can sort of play around with the length. You're going to take the sitting bone back towards the heel a bit more, so you're getting the stretch through the shin. And just see if you can soften into the pose a little bit, helping up here with the shin, the ankle. Bring the chin down towards the chest. Good. You can always pad the knees as well if you need to, like add more like a blanket or something under the knees if they're sensitive. Coming forward, bring the hand back down, step back onto hands into the knees, and then just come to sit onto the knees if you can. If you can't, just stay in tabletop and wiggle the hips from side to side. If you can come and sit onto the knees, then you can just wiggle here a little bit, maybe even lean back. Just gently shake the knees a little bit. Then use padding if you need to. Take the left foot to the outside of the left hand. I'm going to take my right knee straight back a little bit, just to increase the stretch into the hip and the hip flexor here. Just starting here for a second, chin is tucked in towards the chest, looking down towards the sky. Then I'm going to take my right hand off the mat slightly. My left foot is already off the mat on the other side. Then I'm going to come onto the outside edge of this left foot so I can see the bottom of my left foot. Left hand is going to come to the outside of the knee. I'm going to gently just encourage a little bit that left knee away from me, and I'm going to drop the right hip down towards the sky so I can look up, drop the hip down towards the floor. Imagine dropping it towards the sky. So I can look up towards the sky. God, there's lots of things that could be going into the bloopers, couldn't it? Opening up through the hip, and the outside of the right hip, getting deep into the left side. Good. Again, just focus on the breath and just close down the eyes for a minute. See how the body feels. Come back onto the sole of that left foot. Place the hand back down. I like to come onto fingertips here. And then I'm going to walk this left foot back back into the low lunge position with my left hand to the outside now of the left foot. Then I'm going to come up to my fingertips, draw the shoulder blades together, so I'm opening up through the chest, and then rock back onto my left heel, watching that I don't take my hips, my body over to the right hand side and try to keep it neutral, just keep it squared. And then staying onto the fingertips, or you can be flat down onto the palm, but this left hand will then rest on top of the foot and then gently encourage the toes down towards the floor, so the sole of the foot is down onto the floor. And then just leaning back a little bit more, just seeing if you can feel the stretch into the shin there, the top of the ankle. Bring the chin down towards the chest. Again, let go of any need to hold anything. Let go of the need to fix anything or anyone. Let go of anything that isn't an awareness of your breath, of your body. Just in this moment. Good. Slowly lift the head back. Coming back into that lunge position, planting the hands down again, stepping the knees back, coming to the knees if you can, or staying into tabletop for a second. And then from here we're just going to tuck the toes and then lifting up into downward facing dog, and then just walk the hands back towards the feet. So we didn't need to do anything special there, we're not staying in downward facing dog, we're actually just making our way into ragdoll. So the feet are underneath the hips, knees are really bent, we're folding over the hips, so the body is folding over the hips. You can even place the index finger on both hands, place it onto the hip flexor, fold over the index finger, and then release the arms out in front of you, take hold of opposite elbows, be really relaxed in the upper body, and then swing or sway gently from side to side. Good. Walk, put your hand back down to the fingertips, walk into the middle of the mat, a bit like a monkey, just walking along with the hands and the feet. And then take the feet as wide as the mat, turn the heels in slightly and the toes out slightly. Coming into a squat, you could use a block of book or blocks and books and place them underneath the sitting bones. As you take the squat, lifting the head up last, I'm going to use 2 blocks here. So I've come to sit onto the blocks, elbows come into the inside of the knees push back into the elbows slightly, hands are into prayer. If you don't have blocks, then they'll just be lifted. We're not going to stay here for very long. So then we're slowly going to make our way down to the floor. Removing the blocks, of course, if you had them, or the books. Slowly make your way down onto your back and hug the knees in. Good. And then take the arms out wide into a T shape if you have the space, or into cactus arms. And then either you're going to keep the knees stacked on top of each other and simply just drop them over to the left hand side. Or you're going to cross the right knee over the left knee, and then you're going to shimmy just the lower back, the hips, over to the right hand side, and then drop the knees to the left. Ooh, crack. That was nice. The gaze then goes up towards the ceiling. Maybe the gaze goes towards the right, wherever it's comfortable. Trying to get the shoulders. Take the variation where you can keep both shoulders down onto the ground. And then close down the eyes. And then just imagine that your breath is moving up and down the spine. So notice this twist that you're in. And that the digestive organs are involved. The whole of the spine is involved. Releasing energy from the meridian lines. Releasing any tension in the body. So imagine as you inhale, the breath is going up the spine. And as you exhale, the breath is going down the spine. Maybe you even see a white color. Some kind of energy. Maybe it's just the imagination of the breath. Maybe take a couple of exhales through the mouth. Good. So taking a couple more breaths here. And then bring the head back up to center first. Then unravel the legs. Take the soles of the feet onto the floor with the knees bent. Gently lift the hips if you took that second variation. And then just hug in the knees. Wrap the arms around the knees. Good. And then go ahead and place the feet back down to the floor. Arms go wide again or into cactus. And as you draw the knees in towards the chest, maybe you stack just one knee on top of the other knee and take the knees over to the right. Or you cross the left knee over the right knee. Shimmy the hips. So I place my feet down when I do this, and then I just pick up my glutes, my hips, and take them over to the left hand side. My shoulders stay exactly into the middle of the mat. I don't move them at all. And then I drop my knees down towards the right. And then take the gaze to the ceiling, to the sky, or the gaze to the left. Again, choosing a variation that helps you to keep the shoulders down. And then immediately tune into the spine. And imagine from the base of the spine as you inhale the breath going up the spine to the head. As you exhale the breath coming back down from the top of the head down to the base of the spine. To keep the belly soften, the core soft. Let go of any concept of time, what's next. Being fully immersed into the present moment, using the breath to anchor the mind here and now. Good. Bringing the head back to center when you're ready, and then you're lifting the legs up and crossing the knees, and then hugging the knees in. Lift the head, make a nice ball. And then take any other pose that you feel that you need to do before we set up for relaxation. So And maybe just taking the knees in towards the armpits, maybe taking a happy baby, maybe going straight into relaxation. So going to lay down onto the floor, onto your mat. The arms can be wide with the palms facing up, the legs wide, feet towards the edge of the mat. Maybe you prefer one hand onto your chest, one hand onto your stomach. Chin slightly tucked in, just ever so slightly tucked in towards the chest. Elongate through the back of the neck. You could add more layers. If you have a bolster, you could put it underneath the knees. Just taking a few minutes to really absorb. It is the most important pose because you absorb into the body everything that you've been working on throughout the class. You've created this space in the body. You've let go of energy that's unwanted or is not needed anymore. Maybe you release some emotions from around the hip or the lower back. Now the body can let go fully, letting the weight of your body fall into the embrace of the earth, the floor beneath you. Let go of holding. Be completely here in full awareness. And then relax the body. Notice from the top of the head through the forehead and around the eyes and the cheekbones. There's a lot of tension in people's faces. Notice your face. Is the face relaxed? If not, exhale. Allow the face to relax. Instruct yourself. Relax. Shoulders away from the ears. The lower back sinking into the floor, into the earth. You're holding any tension in the arms and the fingers. Maybe down into the stomach. You're still bringing the belly button in towards the spine, and now you can just let it go. Just let the breath go, let the body go. Any tension that remains around the hips, the glutes. Be free by relaxing the legs. Any tension in the feet and the ankles, the toes. Relax. And just for a brief moment, noticing how with your awareness focusing on the body relaxing, how throughout the class you're able to draw the mind into the breath, even if it wandered at points. That every time that you bring your awareness to the present moment, you are letting go of all of these other concepts and being fully alive in the here and now. There's no conditioning that takes us thinking that we have to be doing this in our minds for the future and ruminating this in our minds from the past. Yoga helps us to bring the mind into the present where we are fully alive. The only moment really that we can control is this now moment. And when is this now moment? It's here, now. So be aware of the moment, be aware of the next breath. Maybe you have a sense of gratitude for being able to show up for yourself for practice. Maybe just start to gently take the head from side to side a little bit as you wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bringing the legs together, taking the arms overhead into a full body stretch. Bringing the knees in towards the chest, hugging your knees. Wrapping arms around the knees, maybe rocking from side to side. And going to rest over onto one hand side. Maybe you come to rest onto the left, your yin side. And if for any reason you can't, like an injury, come to rest on the right. And after you've taken your next exhale, maybe keep the eyes closed, just make your way back up to a comfortable seated position to close. the hands into heart center, bringing the thumbs gently connected to the center of your chest. Take one breath together, maybe retaining the breath if that's within your practice, if it's safe for you to do so. So after you've exhaled fully, take a really big, nice deep inhale through the nose. Hold the breath for a second, if you can, and then go ahead and exhale, let the breath go out the mouth. Take the thumbs and connect them to the center of the forehead. Taking the thumbs and connect them to your mouth. Back to your heart space. Lying the chin down towards the chest slightly in honor of the practice, the teachings, and for you for showing up for yourself in the practice of letting go. And until we practice together again, Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha, Hari Om Tat Sat, from my heart to yours. Namaste.